Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a real treat this afternoon. That is for sure. Was anyone here last night for the round? What'd you think? Was it pretty good, right? It's like one of the best sets that I've ever seen here at the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival. And this young fella is a folk singer from Chicago and a very familiar person to be on stage here at the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival. It's Jencks.
Welcome into my land. It's your land too now. I want to shake your hand. I want to know your story, the journey you've been on. I want to hear your language. I want to learn your song. The earth knows no borders, just one sky above. Friendship has no fences, no walls can stop the love. Welcome, make my home yours. These arms are open, and so are the doors. The faces of the world are all around us today. Many voices make for harmony, so let the music play. My life is richer for your presence here today. Let's break bread together while our children play. Like it here. I hope that you are safe and your children without fear. But if they come to take you in the dead of the night, I'll be there beside you to stand up for your rights. I'll harbor you, I'll fight for you as you would do for me. And when everyone is welcome, we will all be free. Welcome into my land. It's your land too now. I want to shake your hand. I want to know your story, the journey you've been on. I want to hear your language. I want to learn your song. The earth knows no borders, just one sky above. Friendship has no fences, no walls can stop the love. Say welcome. Thank you. Welcome. you would all turn your hymnals to 1966 and join me in an opening song. There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I've got to beware. And I think we better stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Battle lines are being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. And I think we better stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 10,000 people in the streets, singing songs and carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. And I think we better stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep into your life. Now it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step by the line and the man come and take you away. And I think we better stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Love to invite my buddy Rad out here to play some accordion with me on a few songs. Radislav Lorgovic.
Hey, how are you? Excellent. That's great. That's inspiring.
I have 8.5 acres in Washington State, in a very remote part of Washington State. It's not the part of Washington State that's worth a lot to realtors, but it's a one-man nature conservancy in central Washington. And I was sitting up there some years ago by my campfire, and this song downloaded. I was thinking about my dad a little bit, my parents. They were married for 40 years, together for 45. Probably more like 43, actually. And I was thinking about the ways in which I was incredibly blessed to have parents who had figured out by the time I came along that they were never going to understand their children. They just gave up on that idea and accepted loving as being enough and hoping it was enough. And a little bit of a tribute to them and to a whole lot of good people I've known, and maybe a little bit of a wish for my own future. It's called All I Want Is a Garden. My father was a soldier. He went off to the war. Whatever childhood dreams he had, they were gone forevermore. The solace and the meaning that he found within his life were his faith, his home, his family, and his one true love and wife. All I want is a garden to make the flowers grow. All I want is you beside me in the gentle evening glow. All I want is a peaceful place where I can lay my head, and when the weary night embraces, to lay beside you in our bed. Now I'm a road musician, and I wouldn't trade a day I've spent running down my dreams and making friends along the way. But now and then I get to thinking, Daddy had it right. You just give everything you have to love and hold on to the light. All I want is a garden to make the flowers grow. All I want is you beside me in the gentle evening glow. All I want is a peaceful place where I can lay my head, and when the weary night embraces, to lay beside you in our bed. When my life is over, don't carry me away, for I've spent my whole life traveling, and it's here I want to stay. Open up the earth and lay my body down below, and sing a song of heaven, a song to send me home. All I want is a garden to make the flowers grow. All I want is you beside me in the gentle evening glow. All I want is a peaceful place where I can lay my head, and when the weary night embraces, to lay beside you in our bed. All I want is a garden.
Thank you. And it goes, I think, already assumed, but you are welcome to sing along with anything. My request is only that you sing the same song I'm singing while I'm singing it. That will be easier for me. In Ireland, there was a food shortage. You may have heard of it. It's frequently referred to as the famine or the potato famine. But as my mother told me when I was young, her maiden name was Kathleen Kilbride, and her people were from County Kildare. And she said a blight is a natural occurrence. Sometimes crops fail. But when starvation is happening, it is always a political problem. It's a lack of will to get food from the people who have it to the people who need it. If people are starving, it is always a political problem. And she wanted me to understand that as a young man who was dual U.S.-Irish citizen, because it was important to her that I understood why in the Irish language it's referred to as an gortamór, the great hunger. not a famine, a hunger, because a famine is preventable. And in this case, a hunger was also preventable. And to simply blame it on the crops is to relinquish responsibility for the broader picture. And I think I didn't understand it when I was in third grade, and my mother gave me that whole soliloquy about the great hunger. But in years of traveling in Ireland and in years of witnessing process in our own country, I've come to understand what she was trying to tell me.
By the banks of the island, the abbey's story graves, 10,000 nameless lay. Their faces forgotten, their stories remain to speak of unbearable pain. Their voices rise up as the wind breaks the silence. The trees all bear witness to shame. A light comes from nature, starvation from politics. Through history, it's always the same. When the moon rises over Skibbereen, the most melancholy moon I have seen. Do you think she remembers the sorrow she's seen when the moon rises over Skibbereen? 1845, potatoes first failed, but the people knew hard times before. So they pawned their belongings for food to survive. By late 1846, they were barely alive. Too weak from the fever and hunger and thirst to properly bury their dead. They were left by the roadside, dropped in the dirt, with hardly a prayer even said. When the moon rises over Skibbereen, when the moon rises over Skibbereen, the most melancholy moon I have seen. Do you think she remembers the sorrow she's seen when the moon rises over Skibbereen? And who takes the blame for a failure so grand? There's plenty of guilt to go round. By the time it was known how bad it would get, thousands were laid in the ground, in the ground. Some say the workhouse and others the crown. Some say the landlord's to blame. But by the next world or the new world, 3 million were gone, and the country was forever changed. Now the land and her people are thriving today, but there's a weight on the hills and the glens, and it's left to the living to remember the famine and swear to it never again. When the moon rises over Skibbereen, the most melancholy moon I have seen, do you think she remembers the sorrow she's seen when the moon rises over Skibbereen? Do you think she remembers the sorrow she's seen when the moon rises over Skibbereen? when the moon rises over Skibbereen.
Thank you, Brad. That was beautiful. For a while, Rad and I both lived in the Chicago area. I've moved a little further out into the cornfields because it doesn't make sense to pay Chicago rent for an apartment you only see 80 days a year. But there was a $5 movie night at the theater in Evanston, and Rad would come into Evanston, and we'd go to movies on Tuesday nights and just hang out and, you know, talk about life. It was fantastic. So great having a little reunion here at Falcon Ridge. Yeah, we'd go have sushi. Easy to do. I know a lot of you know Rad as a side musician extraordinaire for many people, but he's released several solo albums that are all just absolutely extraordinary. If you don't know Rad's songwriting, his solo work, you really should. He's just a magical musician in so many different ways, and what a pleasure to have him here as part of the house band at Falcon Ridge this year. So for the three of you who weren't here last night, I wrote this song for my sweetie because she did a very beautiful and thoughtful thing for me on Easter morning, and I totally forgot it was Easter, and you know, I got her nothing, so I got her a song instead. It may or may not have been influenced just a tiny bit by Randy Newman and John Prine.
If I had one last squeeze of toothpaste, I'd give half to you. If I was down to my last stick of gum, you know I'd tear it right in two. There is nothing that I have that I wouldn't share with you, except my heart. You get all of my heart. If I had 20 buffalo nickels, you know I'd give you 10. That's just the sort of thing you do for your best friend. There is nothing that I have that I wouldn't share with you, except my heart. You get all of my heart. People say that it's good to have some boundaries, so I will keep most of the Legos just for me. But I'd still give you half of my last cup of coffee, and I would give you my last drop of honey for your tea. Take it, Rad. Slav Loverman. If I only had 6 guitar strings, you know I'd give you 3. We could each make half a chord, and it would sound complete. There is nothing that I have that I wouldn't share with you, except my heart. You get all of my heart, except my heart. You get all of my heart. It's a little rusty, but it's all yours, my heart. You get all of my heart. The WD-40 ought to fix it. Oh, my heart. You get all of my heart. Radislav, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, brother. And truly, what a pleasure to be back here at the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival 2026. Amazing. I kind of thought we'd be like, you know, having solved more world problems by 2026 than we have, but that's how it goes.
each generation has to put their hand to it and see what they can fix, and maybe try and make the load just a little lighter for the next generation. We lost a beautiful songwriter. I mentioned this last year, Bob Franke. And when we were putting together a memorial concert for Bob Franke, Joan Sherman, his now widow, called me up and asked me to be a part of it. And then she said, I let the other artists in the concert choose their song, but I have an assignment for you. I have one of Bob's songs that's maybe my favorite, and I want you to sing it. And I was very touched. And then I started trying to parse out Bob Franke's phrasing, and I realized he was way more of a metric genius than I understood. He understood polyrhythms and the subdivision of pulses and rhythm in ways that I didn't really get. And I thought, well, here he is, 7 months gone, and still teaching me about songwriting. Like, what a beautiful thing. This is called Still Small Voice. Bob grew up near Hamtramck, Michigan, and went to school in Detroit, which is where he was the day that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was killed. And the song begins in that place and then moves forward in time. It's called Still Small Voice.
In a still small voice in the middle of the night, Brother Martin heard a simple truth, and he followed its pleading, though it led to a crossroads parting in the days of my youth. From the heart of my city came a single scream. I could hear it through all the white noise. And the papers told me that they'd killed the dream, but they never killed the still small voice. All the lies come at you in a million ways. Some you hear and some you tell yourself. And they say that virtue is a pile of gold, and that weapons are a nation's wealth. But when kings stand naked in their ugly schemes, will the poor of this world rejoice? Will they sell their children down a bloody stream, or will they listen to a still small voice? Oh, that one-eyed bandit in your living room, it will tell you that you have no time. It will swear to take you on your one free ride while it's looking for your last dime. But the light of heaven is a simple gift. You can see it when you make that choice. It will shine like riches in your inmost heart, but it will speak in a still small voice. Oh, the skies will open when that trumpet sounds, and the thunder will shake these walls. And these stones so silent as they ring us round, they will shatter when they hear that call. And these chains will clatter when they hit the ground, and the people make a joyful noise. But when my lover comes to call me home, he will speak in a still small voice. When my lover comes to call me home, she will speak in a still small voice. When my lover comes to call me home, it will speak in a still small voice.
My sister Jean is going to retire at the end of this year after 32 years in the classroom teaching special ed kids, inner city Cincinnati. My sister Julie retired recently after having taught for more than 30 years, also teaching special ed kids, a lot of them in inner city environments. My mother was a special ed teacher. I have a sister-in-law who's a special ed teacher. I have a niece who's an elementary school music teacher. Fantastic. Family Zooms during the pandemic involved a lot of talk about trying to teach in that weird time. But shout out to all the teachers. When we remember what we think of as frontline workers during the pandemic, I think maybe teachers get overlooked, and they deserve their due. I wrote this song for one of my sister Jean's students, the family of one of her students. He was sadly killed in Cincinnati, but he was a Golden Gloves boxing champion for his age and weight group. And just an incredibly kind and gracious young man. And I thought his story deserved to be remembered. His name was Jashawn Johnson. Heat and humidity are the two things that are most likely to alter an instrument's intonation. For what it's worth, people ask, why do you tune so much? If you can't hear it, maybe it's a blessing. If you can, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. It's entirely selfish.
Johnson grew up in a world of stone and steel, where the neighborhoods have edges that are rough and the monsters of our childhood are real. He had his problems in the classroom, though he always gave his best. When he put on his gloves and stepped into the ring, it was clear he was a notch above the rest. In Cincinnati, Jashawn's father was his trainer, and they made quite a team. His parents' house was full of trophies and awards, like a private hall of fame, a tribute to a dream. He was invited to try out for the Olympic Summer Games. Everybody knew this was his ticket out, and his life would never be the same. In Cincinnati, Jashawn would never box outside the ring, for he knew it was not right. Even pushed into a corner when some other young men wanted him to fight. They tried to turn away from their jealousy and rage, but they attacked. They cursed him and beat him. One of them pulled out a gun and shot him in the back. in Cincinnati. The medics did their best to save Jashawn, but his spirit slipped away. And we wonder where God's mercy goes when there's children killing children every day. But the papers did not print a word about the promise of the young life that was lost. All they could say was Jashawn was the 21st murder of the year in Cincinnati. The minister said it is not how long we dance our feet upon this earth, but how pure is our soul when we leave. That's the measure of our worth. And Jashawn was pure. If we honor him, then we must not be afraid to feel the loss. Like a flower that blooms in the early spring takes a chance that there still might be a frost in Cincinnati. In Cincinnati.
Long story, slightly shorter. Every other year I go to a conference in Chicago called Labor Notes, and it is the largest non-denominational gathering of the labor community in North America with guests from all over the world. They're colloquially known as the Troublemakers Union because it's not about any single union. It's about the rabble-rousers in all the unions gathered in one place, which is a useful thing right now because no matter how people feel about unions, I will note I am a very proud member of the American Federation of Musicians, AFM Local 1000, the Traveling Musicians Union. I'm currently in my third term on our board in the last 27 years, and I have no doubt I will get roped into many other things in service to the cause. But artists deserve to be paid well for the work that they do. And one of the things that we love about Falcon Ridge, one of the things that we love about this festival is that you all respect the artist. You respect the effort and the lifetime of energy that we put into our work. And so you're willing to pay a reasonable ticket price to come to a festival, and that allows Ann to pay us well. So we just want to give a shout out to that, our sign language interpreters. And there's a whole slew of volunteers that make this festival work. I do not want to in any way overlook that. This festival simply would not happen at all if it weren't for the volunteers. But imagine living in a country like Canada where there is actual governmental support for the arts. So much so that American presenters can write grants to Canadian arts councils in order to bring Canadian artists to the United States. I mean, you know, like you could write a grant to the government of Ontario to get a Canadian artist to come to your festival. Can you imagine Ontario writing a grant to any organization in the United States so that they could send Joe Jencks to Canada on tour? Like, maybe a private foundation, but not government money. So it is so important that we value the organizations that have stood the test of time because they value the people that volunteer and work in that space. And Saunders Falcon Ridge Folk Festival is one of those beautiful places. So let's give it up. So 2 years ago at the Labor Notes Conference, ask me more about this later if you want to know, but there was a woman there who was a member of Actors Equity, and Actors Equity in Los Angeles organized a group of exotic dancers, helped them organize themselves. They did the organizing, but Actors Equity helped. And there are now exotic dancers who are carrying a union card in Los Angeles. And that's kind of a cool thing. And one of the dancers got up and gave us what I will call an interpretive dance, an expression of their workplace. First presenting as male, believably so, sunglasses, khaki shorts, Teamsters shirt, throwing some $1 bills around and kind of doing what Billy Crystal once called the white man's overbite, And then began removing articles of clothing, creating a division in the room, because some people were like, woo, get your freak on, and some people are like, we've never seen this at a labor conference before. Are we allowed to enjoy this, or do we merely maintain a studious countenance and pretend that we are observing cultural phenomena? And then there were some people that were like, avert your eyes. Do not look at this. This is not proper organizing. But it was great education because it helped people see the environment in which these dancers work and why workplace safety is the single biggest thing for them. So anyway, long story, just slightly shorter, it turned into this song. Well, let me tell you a story about some dancers who wanted to strike. They wanted to form a union to advocate for their rights. They were completely committed. They'd seen others fight the good fight, like the union boys who would work all day and then come out and see them at night. At first, it was kind of a hard sell to accept that this was a trade, that all workers have a right to organize, fair wages must be paid. But one by one and club by club, the dancers made their case. They organized a union and they put it in the boss's face. When I was tipped by a union stripper for singing a union song, I was tipped by a union stripper, all of our clothes were on. They organized a union for the dancers in their trade. I was tipped by a union stripper, redefining union maid. Now Emma Goldman once said, if I can't dance, I won't be a part of your revolution. Accepting exotic dance as art is for some an evolution. But dancers are workers and workers have rights, among them the privilege to stand up and fight against sexual harassment in the workplace. Wrap your brain around that one twice. Well, I was tipped by a union stripper for singing a union song. I was tipped by a union stripper, all of our clothes are on. They organized a union for the dancers in their trade. I was tipped by a union stripper, redefining union maid. Some may say this is all a bit cheeky, and others might say it's absurd. This is not respectable trade unionism, but I say hear these words. When you feel exposed in the workplace and wonder who's got your back, it's your trade union siblings and cultural workers who will keep you on the right track. I was tipped by a union stripper for singing a union song. I was tipped by a union stripper, all of our clothes were on. They organized a union for the dancers in their trade. I was tipped by a union stripper, redefining union maid. Well, if you feel the work you do is unworthy of representation, look to these unorthodox workers as a source of inspiration. There can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun than the people who say yes we can and then go out and shake their buns. But I was tipped by a union stripper for singing a union song. I was tipped by a union stripper, all of our clothes are on. They organized a union for the dancers in their trade. I was tipped by a union stripper, redefining union maid. I was tipped by a union stripper, redefining union maid. I was tipped by a union stripper,
She was a hell of a union maid.
Thank you very much. I'm going to squeeze one more song in here. I would love to invite Alice Howe and, of course, my former bandmate and career-long, lifelong friend, Greg Greenway, to come out and join me.
I can't stand on this side of you. I gotta go.
Yeah, I know. Put that mic wherever you want it, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to all of our sound crew. Will run a front of house and a whole crew of people back here making it sound good for us on stage. Give it up for them. They're just doing a great job this whole weekend. Dan and Faith Senny helping out, getting this out to the people over the internet. Please sing along.
From far away and distant lands, the tempest tossed with hopeful hearts and calloused hands reach toward the light, the torch held high, and cast their gaze upon the lady of the harbor, and she welcomes them with open arms. She says, "Let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor." And so it was with my own king. They sailed from Sweden and from France and Ireland, their earthly cares packed in their bags. They cast their gaze upon the lady of the harbor, and she welcomes them with open arms. She said, "Let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor." Now we're locking down the borders and we're filling up the jails, and we say they don't belong. How conveniently do we forget that we've all come to sing the same sweet song? Will the dream survive the strain? Will huddled masses have a chance to learn its sweet refrain? Or will we fall into our fears and turn our backs against the lady of the harbor? And she welcomes them with open arms. She says, "Let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor."
She welcomes them.
And she welcomes them with open arms. She says, "Let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor." Shine on, shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor.
One more time.
Shine on, shine on, oh
Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Falcon Ridge. Many thanks to our ASL interpreters, whole crew of them here doing a great job this weekend. Thank you so much.